travel back in time to work in the movie industry. This is our review of Hollywood 1947.
Hollywood 1947 is a hidden identity game set in the movie industry during the era of the blacklist. And I'm always a fan of hidden identity games, and I really like their take on this.
I really liked the theme of the game, and I liked how the game wasn't just all talking and bluffing. There's a lot of actual gameplay involved. We'll tell you all about it after this quick how to play. Hollywood 1947 is played over a series of rounds with a new movie being made each round.
Players will have hidden allegiances and either be patriots or communists, and they will try to secretly influence the movies being made.
During each round, players will have production jobs that will allow them to take actions that will affect the influences of the movies being made, such as re-rolling the dice in front of each player.
At the end of a round, any player with a star on their dice must add an influence card to the movie to either make it more patriotic or communist.
After all the cards have been played, they will be revealed and the winning film strip will be placed over the movie poster, signifying whether it's a patriotic film or a communist film.
As soon as either team wins 4 rounds, the game ends and that team is the winner.
Before you go running off to Hollywood to live the dream, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button.
All your likes and subscribes will really help our channel become a star, so thank you.
Hollywood 1947. The first thing that grabbed me and why I backed the Kickstarter was the theme. So I went to film school at UCF. I'm a big fan of movies, wanted to get into the film industry, so I love this. I love the history of the film industry. The blacklist is a dark time in the movie industry era in terms of HUAC and all the anti-communist and pro-communist and all that kind of stuff. It's a very interesting era. It's kind of surface level, so it doesn't really dig deep into it, so it doesn't take a side either way, saying bad, negative, or anything like that. It's just, oh, you're a patriot or you're a communist. Kind of like how Secret Hitler, you could be Hitler in that game, but it's kind of surface level. Same thing with this one. You can be a communist and making communist propaganda, but it's not really like, oh, you're a communist kind of a thing. So very surface level in terms of the theming for that.
So I would say I'm just your real casual movie fan. However, I really did like this. I like the little movie posters, kind of vintagey movie posters that they have. Those are really fun. I'm always a fan of hidden identity games, so this one's obviously more down Kenny's alley with the movies and the directing and things like that. So I'm like, oh, okay, I want to get into it too. I want to learn. I'm not a big history buff either, so I don't know how dark that time was with the blacklist era or anything. However, I do like that I did learn a little bit more about it, even though I was probably taught about it at some point maybe.
So at the start of the game, each player is going to get a loyalty card that's either going to say that they're a patriot or it's going to say that they're a communist. But then there's also a rising star who kind of wants to win by their own. If you've ever played the game Werewolf, it's kind of like the Tanner where only you can win versus the Patriots and the Communists. The loyalty card's all hidden. You don't want to reveal which loyalty you have. That's what you're trying to deduce about everybody. But then everyone will also get production jobs, and these are face up, so everyone will know. So you can be a composer, director, producer, editor, actor, screenwriter, etc. And they all have different actions. So during the round, you'd be performing the action. So this is draw 2 cards, add 1 face down into the movie. So the cards that you're going to be going through are going to be patriot cards, communist cards, or double communist cards. So those are the cards that you'll be adding. And you add those face down in secret so players don't know the cards that you're adding, and you're trying to make the movies more communist or patriotic. All the movies will start out either communist or patriotic or double communist. And then you're trying to add other cards to make it more. So at the end of the round, if you flip this over, then this is a really big communist movie versus the Patriots only had the 1 card. Whereas if at the end of the round you had this, these 3 Patriots would cancel out those 2 communists, and now it's a Patriot movie. So the Patriots would win. And then whoever wins gets covered. So if it's a Patriot movie, you're going to cover it with the blue one, and that's how you signify that they have 1 movie. Or if the communists win, then they're going to cover it, and that signifies if the communists win. So as the game is going and players are performing their role, then you're going to be rolling these dice that each player has in front of them. And if they have a star in front of them, that means that they have to play a card onto the movie, changing it. So no matter what card you have in your hand, you have to play it. So sometimes you want to do that because you might have good cards and you want to change the movie that can fit the influence that you're trying to push it. Other times you don't. So you may roll your dice. So, I don't want to make a communist movie, but I have all communist cards in my hand. I don't want to have to play that. So I'll roll my own dice so I don't have to play a card. So I like that the gameplay is everyone has a role that's public and performing actions, and you know what they're doing, but you don't know exactly what. Oh, I know that you're changing those cards. I know that you're playing that, or you're re-rolling Lee's dice because you think he's a communist, but maybe you're really helping him because you're also a communist. So you want him to re-roll because you don't want him to have to play cards because maybe his cards are bad. So you don't want them to be played. So lots of thinking that goes on while you're doing it. So there's lots of gameplay. It's not just, oh, let's talk and bluff. And if you're not good at bluffing, then you're going to hate this game. You can play this game without having to worry about being bad at bluffing.
I will say though, in this game, like unlike in Werewolves or Mafia, when you like grab it, you're like, oh, you're this person, or oh, in Werewolves, you're a part of the werewolf. Like that one sounds kind of fun and cool being a werewolf versus this. Like if and when you get the communist like allegiance, you're just like, like just because all the negative connotation that comes into
it's like
it,
being
I'm like
Hitler in Secret Hitler.
Yeah, I know. Kind of like that too is what I was gonna say. Like, dang, man. I mean, even as we're doing this video, right? It's like, oh yeah, Lee's a communist. It's like, okay, hold on. Like, let's hope it does not taken out of context or it's not clipped in a weird way. And it's, ugh, that would just suck. So I really like that when you're playing this, you don't necessarily, it's not all about talking like you had kind of brought up. There are things that you can do, and you know, even if you don't want to play too much about trying to guess allegiances and stuff, you can just kind of play your card and you're like, all right, I'm going to do this. And I think it's you, and then it's fine. Like you don't have to go like too deep into it. The game still moves forward and it's not everyone just like, ah, you. Oh, you, you know, and everyone trying to convince you. You're just like, all right, I'm going to do that. I'm patriotic. I'm doing this. I'm going to do my move. That's all.
I really like how the theme applies to the gameplay. You're trying to figure out who's on the patriotic team, who's a communist, and whose loyalties lie where. And while doing that, it's not that you're blaming someone, because you can blame someone. Like, oh, you're a patriot. Oh, you're a communist. So you're trying to figure out what team each player is on. And you may even be like, even if you're a communist, like, oh no, I'm a patriot. Like you still have to hide your identity because of that. But it's also, instead of just blaming someone and choosing who they are, you don't win by saying, oh, Lee's a communist. Okay, well, now we know Lee's a communist. That doesn't change anything. The movies are still being made. How can we make sure that Lee doesn't influence these movies if we think he's a communist? And that applies to that era. It's not that, oh, yeah, they were blaming people, but they were also like, well, we think that actor's a communist, so we're not going to hire them anymore. So it's like, oh, I think Lee's a communist, so I'm not going to let him play a card. He doesn't get to play this round, so I'm going to turn his dice over, kind of a thing. Or it's like, oh, well, how can we make their life difficult? Oh, let's see, like, let's fish it out. Let's see. You have to reveal who you are. So let's see, now you're playing a card, Lee. What card did you play, huh? Tell us. Tell us. Tell the committee of people playing this game what you are. Are you a communist? So I really like how that plays out with the theme and the mechanics of the game. What did you not like about the game?
One thing that I really like in some hidden identity games is at some point during the game, there may be a move or there may be a card that allows you to call someone's like bluff or lie and get that like instant gratification. But in this game, you have to wait until the very end. It's like, all right, who was the liar? Who, you know, and that in itself is fun too. But like I said, the some of the hidden identities that I'm a big fan of is like, ooh, I got this rule that lets me like find out or sniff out the liars or something. So
the thing I didn't really like about this game is that there's a lot of bookkeeping when you're playing it for the first time, and the person who's teaching it has to keep explaining to all the players playing, all right, now you're the producer, this is what you do, and this is what you can do, and based on the order we're going, this is what you can do now you can go, and if you did this, then you can do this, or if the editor, then later on you gotta remember to keep doing it, and so you just gotta keep all that in mind. So until everyone really knows what all the roles do, it's hard to be like, oh, all right, this round, this is you. And then everyone's like, wait, what am I doing? When do I go? Like, it's hard to do that the first couple of games. And if you don't have a group of people that's willing to play it a few times to get into it and really appreciate it, they may not get past that first one where they're like, yeah, I didn't really understand it. I didn't really get it. I didn't really have fun with it. So there is a lot of that to get through the first couple of games.
overall, I'd play it again. I'm so close to buying my own copy just because like I'm a big fan of hidden identity games. I think the theming and like really getting into it is kind of holding me back. Like, yes, I love movies, and if I just have that, if I love like directors and oh, this movie was made in the, and if I was a big fan of being able to name directors and actors and stuff, I probably would appreciate this more. But like Kenny had mentioned, there is that kind of that initial barrier of finding a group, playing with them, and making sure everyone knows what to do so that the game goes smoothly and it's not everyone questioning and like, so what do I do if I'm a patriot? here. It's like, you play a blue card. And it's like, and now I know you're a patriot. Like, okay. So I really want my own copy, but I also have to think about all the people that would play this with us, with the theming and everything too. So I'm like, yeah. So it's teeter-tottering there for me.
Overall, I'd play this game again. I had a lot of fun with it. I really like the theme. I'm glad I backed it on Kickstarter. I'm glad that we got to play it. However, if I would have played this first and just played with people, I'd been like, yeah, okay, I like it. I like the theme. I like what's going on there, but I don't need to own a copy of it. I'd give it a 6 overall if I was scoring it on Board Game Geek. I don't know, there's something about it. Like maybe it was the bookkeeping. Maybe it was just like, I don't know, I liked a lot about it. I would play it again, but I wouldn't buy it if I didn't already own it. And I wouldn't recommend it if you're looking for a hidden identity social deduction game. There are other games I would recommend that you play first. And that was our review of Hollywood 1947.
What'd you think? Is this going to turn your game night into a movie night? Let us know in the comments below.
And as always, if you're enjoying our content, please like this video, subscribe to our channel.
Until next time, I'm Lee.
I'm Kenny, and go party like a board gamer.